Literally witnessed two things. We witnessed Caitlin Clark once again cementing herself as the demon of the WNBA. Flashes of 2024 and Iowa last night, while literally trying to pull the entire team along on her back because of an awful head coach named Stephanie White. Some reason. Now, essentially the same question about Kelsey Mitchell.
Start, I guess, with Kelsey Mitchell and what she did to Grammy is something else.
I'm speechless, really. She was, 0 for 7 in the first half and 4 points, and just put us on her back. Made big shot after big shot, big play after big play. She didn't settle.
Stephanie White just gave the WNBA world everything it needed to finally have this conversation out loud. Caitlin Clark dropped 32 points, including 17 in the final 9 minutes to drag this team back from the dead and force overtime. And the Indiana Fever head coach stood on that sideline like it was a Tuesday afternoon practice. Stone cold. Zero reaction. Nothing. But moments later, when Kelsey Mitchell made her move, White was absolutely losing her mind with applause and screaming. That double standard is now impossible to ignore, and the footage coming out of that May 15th game against the Washington Mystics is genuinely shocking. Stay with me through this entire video because what Stephanie White said at the post-game press conference afterward will tell you everything you need to know about what is actually going on inside that locker room. Let me set the scene for you because context matters here. The Indiana Fever walked into Gainbridge Fieldhouse on May 15th, facing the Washington Mystics, and what happened in that building was a complete collapse at every level, except for one player. The Mystics put 58 points in the paint against a team coached by the woman Pacers Sports and Entertainment, brought in specifically because of her reputation as a defensive guru. Think about that number for a second. 58 points in the paint against a defensive specialist. And while the team was disintegrating around her, Caitlin Clark was doing what Caitlin Clark does. Taking over. She finished with 32 points total. 17 of those came in the final 9 minutes of the fourth quarter alone. She hit the game-tying shot that sent the game to overtime. She willed this team to a chance at winning when everything else had broken down. And this is a player who came into the 2026 season fully healthy after missing time in 2025 with a groin injury and a bone bruise. She came back locked in, playing some of the best basketball of her career, and last night proved exactly that. Now, if you're enjoying this breakdown, smash that like button. It really helps the channel. Here is where things get genuinely disturbing. Because while Clark was orchestrating the fourth quarter comeback, cameras were watching Stephanie White on that sideline. When Clark drained the game-tying shot to force overtime, one of the most clutch plays of the entire WNBA season.
I'm speechless, really. She was, 0 for 7 in the first half and 4 points, and just put us on her back. Made big shot after big shot, big play after big play. She didn't settle. She stayed aggressive, and she willed us.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The difference.
Let's move on though, chat. CC takeover in full effect when the whole world was counting on her, and she delivered. Look at this right here.
Handoff Clark for the tie.
Oh my gosh, she 22. Game time shot. And is Stephanie White celebrating? Is Stephanie White screaming, clapping her hands? No. And you're going to be like, Venom, don't worry. Stephanie White is locked in. All right, well, let's see when Kelsey Mitchell scores then. But anyways, there was nothing or nobody that could stop Caitlin Clark. So see, all ball with no...
Okay. What he's saying is Stephanie White act like nothing happened at all.
White did not move. No reaction, no celebration, no acknowledgement. She stood there completely expressionless, arms crossed, completely unmoved, like the shot never happened, like her own star player had not just saved the game. But then Kelsey Mitchell made a move. A nice move, let us be honest. And Stephanie White completely erupted, screaming, clapping, full emotional release, yelling Mitchell's name. The contrast between those two moments on that sideline is not subtle. It is not a matter of interpretation. The cameras caught it. The footage exists, and the WNBA world has now seen it. The situation gets even worse when you look at the post-game press conference. Reporters gave White every opportunity to acknowledge what Clark did. 32 points, 17 in 9 minutes, the game-tying shot. Any reasonable coach would lead with that. Instead, White spoke about collective resilience, about the group, about making tough shots offensively and defensively, and needing to do it more consistently. Clark's name was not mentioned individually, not once with any weight attached to it. Then came the question about Kelsey Mitchell. And here is where Stephanie White's mask came completely off. Listen to what she said. And these are her exact words. It's speechless, really. You know she was what, 0 for 7 in the first half and 4 points? And just put us on her back, made big shot after big shot, big play after big play. She didn't settle. She stayed aggressive and she willed us, put us on her back. Willed us. That is the quote. That is how Stephanie White talks about Kelsey Mitchell. Compare that to the generic group comment she gave about Clark's performance. The same game.
Now, Kelsey Mitchell.
Screens again as Kelsey dribble Mitchell with a nasty ankle breaker. I cannot lie. As Stephanie White applauds and screams in excitement. So Caitlin Clark hitting a game-tying shot to send it to overtime didn't warrant that response for Stephanie White. But Kelsey Mitchell, and the move was nice right here. Also, oh my God. Look at Stephanie White. Oh my God. Look at the emotion from this coach right here. Holy, she's like, yeah, Kelsey.
Erfin, Centron, 30 points, career high. Kiki Erfin, 25 points, career high. 10 of 14, 11 of 17. Congratulations, Stephanie White, the defensive guru to end all defensive gurus in the WNBA. You had 2 players go for career highs against you. Wow. Wow. And guys, we're going to get to Stephanie White and her statement from the press conference last night, some statements she made about...
One player gets speechless, really. And she willed us. The other player, the one who actually saved the game, gets absorbed into a discussion about collective resilience. Now let us talk about the basketball reality here, because it is damning on multiple levels. Kelsey Mitchell started this game 0 for 7 from the field in the first half with only 4 points. 0 for 7. The Fever's offense was non-functional. It was Caitlin Clark keeping this team alive. And the player who was missing 7 straight shots in the first half is the one getting the "she put us on her back" speech at the press conference. Meanwhile, Clark went for 32. And while all of this is happening, Sonia Citrone of the Washington Mystics dropped 30 points, a career high. Kiki Iriafen added 25 points and 13 rebounds, also a career high. 2 players from the opposing team set career highs in the same game against Stephanie White's defense, against the defensive guru, against the coach who was hired specifically to bring elite defensive identity to this franchise. The final score was Washington Mystics 104, Indiana Fever 102. This was the Fever's 2nd consecutive overtime loss. The team is struggling. The coaching is being questioned, and the face of the franchise, the most jersey-selling player in the entire WNBA, the player whose presence drives the league's television ratings, is being treated like a supporting act. Here is the part nobody is talking about loud enough. Caitlin Clark's jersey sales have led the entire WNBA for 3 consecutive years, 2024, 2025, and now 2026. The Fever's attendance and television viewership numbers are at the top of the league. The business case for this franchise is built almost entirely around one player, and the head coach cannot bring herself to say that player's name with any genuine praise after a 32-point performance that included the most important shot of the game. The comparison being drawn online right now is to Paul Westhead and the 1980 Lakers, a championship-winning coach who was eventually let go because the system he was implementing was incompatible with Magic Johnson. The parallel is not perfect, but the lesson is the same. When your best player and your coaching philosophy are pulling in opposite directions, something has to give. And historically, it is not the superstar. Fever fans are already talking about a boycott. Social media accounts from the official Fever pages went 48 hours without posting Caitlin Clark following the game, prioritizing other players and what observers described as generic content. Hashtags demanding intervention from Pacers, sports and entertainment have been circulating. The pressure on the front office is building rapidly. Now here is the part that delivers what I promised you at the top of this video. The footage from that sideline, Stephanie White watching Clark drain the game-tying shot with zero emotion and then exploding with celebration for Mitchell moments later, that footage is out there. It has been circulating. Content creators like Venom Reacts were the ones who put it in front of millions of viewers and forced the conversation into the mainstream. The sideline comparison is not conjecture. It is documented, and Stephanie White's press conference comments exist as a direct companion piece to what those cameras captured. She confirmed in her own words exactly what the sideline footage showed. There is no ambiguity here. This is not about whether Kelsey Mitchell deserved credit for her second-half performance. She did. That is not the issue. The issue is the extraordinary praise lavished on Mitchell and the complete absence of any comparable acknowledgement for Clark after one of the most clutch individual performances of the young WNBA season. What do you think is the best move for the Indiana Fever going forward? Is this a coaching problem? Is this a front office problem? Is it time for Pacers Sports and Entertainment to step in? Let me know down in the comments. I want to hear your take because this debate is only getting started. And if you haven't already, subscribe and hit that notification bell. We cover every major WNBA story as it breaks, so you never miss a thing. Stay tuned because the pressure building around this Indiana Fever coaching situation is about to reach a breaking point, and you are going to want to hear this first.